Hi, my name's Brianne, and I'm the children's librarian here at Randolph Public Library, and I have some stories to read to you today about April Fool's Day. The first one is nonfiction, April Fool's Day, and it tells what the holiday is, about April 1st, and it's a real fun, not, I shouldn't say really fun, but it's more of a nonfiction to tell you what the holiday is. And the fun one here is Arthur's April Fool, and I like Arthur the Aardvark. He also has videos and a series on PBS, and I'm going to read this one as well, and then show you a little April Fool's activity you can do that's a fun joke, but it's not mean-spirited or anything like that. Okay, so I'm going to first read April Fool's Day by Melissa Schiller. Do you celebrate April Fool's Day? The first day of April is called April Fool's Day. On this day, we make jokes with friends and have fun. And there's a calendar showing April 1st. The jokes on April Fool's Day are not meant to harm anyone. The best jokes are the ones that make everyone laugh. So they're fun, they're not mean-spirited, everyone in the picture is smiling. In France, New Year's used to be celebrated for 8 days, starting on March 25th. April 1st was the last day of the celebration. People visited one another and gave gifts. So that's an interesting fact. Then the calendar changed. January 1st became the start of the new year. A person who still celebrated New Year's on April 1st was called an April Fool. So if they were still celebrating the new year, which April 1st is kind of, a long way into the new year, you were called an April Fool. In France, April 1st is called Poisson d'Avril. This means April fish. Children tape paper fish to each other's back. When the paper fish is found, they yell, April fish. People in America first celebrated April Fool's Day in the 1800s. Teachers played along too. The teacher would point up to the sky and say, look, a flock of geese. If everyone looked up, everyone would say, April Fools. In England, jokes are played only in the morning. Some said it was bad luck to play jokes after noon. If a joke is played on you, you are a noodle. And there's a yummy picture of noodles. In Scotland, you are called an April gowk. A gowk is another name for a cuckoo bird. In Portugal, April Fool's Day is celebrated on Sunday. People throw flour at their friends. There's the picture of the cuckoo clock. People from all over the world can share the fun by email. It is exciting to receive funny emails on April Fool's Day. So with modern technology, we can do it in emails, in Zoom now. There's all kind of funny ways to celebrate April Fool's Day. Newspapers celebrate April Fool's Day too. They print silly articles as a joke. Did you read about the flying pigs? April Fools. Some people do things backward on April Fool's Day. They may even eat dessert first. They will say, April Fools. April Fool's Day can be fun. Happy April Fool's Day. How do you celebrate April Fool's Day? So how you can answer this, how different ways, maybe with jokes or gifts, or you send funny emails. The next story is fiction. That was nonfiction. And this is Arthur, April Fool by Mark Brown. And there's the whole series of Arthur. And like I said, it's been turned into a series on PBS. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. Arthur's April Fool by Mark Brown. It was the last day of March. The joke shop was full of people getting ready for April Fool's Day. Arthur and Buster tried out everything. Buster bought sneezing powder. Arthur got a fake telescope that gave whoever looked through it a black eye. But Arthur didn't feel like playing jokes. He kept thinking about Binky Barnes. Who is Binky Barnes? Asked Buster. Picture King Kong. Now double it, said Arthur. He keeps threatening to punch me out. So there they are with all their silly masks. Later that day, Arthur was practicing his magic tricks with Buster and Francine for the April Fool's assembly. Hey, Shrimp! A giant shadow covered them. I'll show you a trick, said Binky Barnes. He grabbed Arthur's favorite pen and put it in his pocket. Now you see it, now you don't, said Binky. Hey, watch it, said Arthur, trying to look brave. Why don't you make me, said Binky, and walked away. Pick on someone your own size, called Francine, like Godzilla. Wow, said Buster, you were right. He's going to pulverize you. That night at dinner, Arthur hardly ate anything. He didn't finish his cheeseburger. He didn't even want any chocolate cream pie. What's the matter with Arthur? Asked his father. He's worried about getting pulverized, said D.W. Maybe he's been watching too many outer space movies, said his mother. Later on, D.W. barged into Arthur's room. Good night, Mr. Universe, she said. Haven't you ever heard of knocking? Asked Arthur. After you get pulverized, can I have your room? She asked. Beat it, D.W. So he's exercising, not to get pulverized. When Arthur finally fell asleep, he had nightmares. The next morning, Francine offered Arthur a cookie. Yuck, said Arthur. This tastes like soap and toothpaste. April Fool, laughed Francine. But Arthur was too worried to laugh. I'll never remember my magic tricks for the assembly, he said. Calm down, said Buster. I'll be your assistant. I'll help if you get stuck. Arthur felt better. He could count on Buster, but just before the assembly, Buster got caught putting sneeze powder on Mr. Ratburn's desk. Instead of going to the assembly, Buster went to the principal's office. I'll blow it for sure without Buster, thought Arthur. He walked into the auditorium. Who was sitting in the front row? Binky Barnes. This was going to be even worse than he thought. Arthur worried while Mr. Ratburn read people's minds. He worried while Francine and Muffy did shadow tricks, and he worried while the chorus sang that old black magic. Finally, it was his turn. For my first trick, said Arthur, I'll need a volunteer. Binky Barnes jumped on the stage. Surprise, Pipsqueak, he whispered, and Arthur gulped. He's sneaking up on the stage. Arthur asked Binky Barnes to tear up a sheet of paper and put it in the magic hat. He said the magic words and waved his magic wand to make the paper whole again. But rabbits came out instead. Everyone laughed. Arthur took a bow. By mistake, flowers fell out of his sleeve. Binky Barnes laughed harder than anyone. Then Arthur had an idea. He winked at Francine. For my next trick, I will saw this young man in half. Binky stopped laughing and took a step back. My saw, please, said Arthur. Binky turned pale. And now the bucket to collect the blood, Binky screamed. He stepped back again this time, right off the stage. Everyone laughed, even Mr. Ratburn. After the assembly, Arthur stopped Binky in the hall. What's the matter, Binky? You left before I could show you my best trick. No thanks, said Binky Barnes. Are you sure? It lets you see things you've never seen before, said Arthur. Really? Said Binky. He grabbed the telescope and pointed it at Francine. I don't see anything. Of course not, said Arthur. You have to know the secret words. Tell me, said Binky. I can't, Arthur explained. They're so secret, I have to write them down backwards. Do you have a pen? Sure, here, said Binky. Arthur wrote the words. Now go home, hold the paper to the mirror, and you'll be able to read the secret words. Thanks, Twerp, said Binky. He ran out the door. Boy, that's your best trick yet, said Buster. You didn't get pulverized, and you made Blinky Barnes disappear. What did you write? Asked Francine. April Fool. And it turned his eyes black, and he wrote April Fool. Now I'm going to show you something. It's not even really a craft, because I guess it is, but it's real easy. It's not very crafty. It's just a fun April Fool's Day, a little joke you can play that isn't mean and, will make people laugh. All you need is a piece of brown construction paper and a writing utensil, a pencil, pen. I would probably say a pencil. I used a pencil. And a pair of scissors. And I traced. I took a pencil and I traced and I cut it out. And these, I cut out the letter E's, and they're brown E's. So, of course, if you say to someone, I'm offering you brownies, or I made brownies, they're going to think the dessert. So it's just a funny little harmless April Fool joke. And so that's all I have for you for April Fools. I hope you have fun April Fools and play some fun jokes, and have a happy April Fool's Day and a happy month of April. Thank you.